Evening and welcome. Today is November 4th, 2025 at 5, and it is 5:30 p.m. and we are in the Bosch-Freilich meeting room, Mandan City Hall. Mr. Neubauer, could you please take the roll?
Commissioners Schoberg.
Here.
Heinchan.
Here.
Braun.
Here.
Rohr.
Here.
Mayor Freilich.
Here. And at this point, Bill Robinson will lead us in the pledge. Bill, if you would like to go to the podium, please. Thank you, and that is the newly retired Bill Robinson. Okay, we'll move on to announcements, Public Works announcements. Shane?
Good evening. I just wanted to come up and say a couple things. Public Works will be holding our version of preseason, conducting snow equipment training and trial runs November 12th through the 14th. What we'll be doing through here is we have quite a few new operators, and we're going to be getting them out on the streets, showing them their territory where they're going to be cleaning snow this winter and just being prepared. Might see some pieces of equipment out there. Don't be alarmed. We're just doing a little bit of training, and practice makes perfect. So we're ready if anything shows up. And if we do get a smaller amount of snow, you might see more equipment than you're used to, since we're just got a lot of new operators we're training in.
Okay. And that segues into your next announcement.
Yeah, I'd like to take a moment, recognize Brad Glass, our utility superintendent, who was recently named Operator of the Year by North Dakota Department of Environmental Quality. We're proud to see his hard work recognized at the state level as a well-deserved honor and a reflection of the professionalism that defines our entire Public Works team. Congratulations, Brad, and the whole utility department.
Congratulations, Brad. And we will be down at Public Works for a picture with Brad.
That is correct.
And Brad knows this?
He does now.
All right, Jarek, construction update.
Mayor and Commissioners, I prepared something to have on my screen here. Update on 4 projects that we have active around town. I left a couple of the other ones that don't have much activity off of this, the water treatment plant phase 3 and the 2024 street reconstruction project, namely. First of all, I have Memorial Highway. We got some drone footage here that I just wanted to show off in case folks out there wanted to see kind of an overhead view of what was going on earlier today. It's very recent footage, so just an opportunity for people to take a look at it rather than on their drive-bys. Recent work on Memorial Highway includes storm main and inlets. They're going to be complete on the south side by Thursday. The new 16-inch water main will start to be installed on the north side. They're going to start at 46 and start working their way west, and they'll go as long as weather allows. Sanitary work has also shifted to the north side. Also, will continue this season as long as weather allows. And then concrete will be poured at the 40th Street, the intersection, and start to move over to 32nd over the next couple of weeks. Big topic here is winter shutdown. The NDDOT and READY have been in communication with each other and are kind of working out the details of their winterization plan. And the DOT plans on sharing the details on that via social media in the near future. Once again, going to reiterate, just in case, that the temporary wavy asphalt surface is not an acceptable driving surface over the winter, and that will not be the plan over the winter. The winter section will resemble what is currently in place on the south side, on the southeast portion of the corridor, which are the 2 concrete panels and then a 7-foot temporary asphalt extension. You can kind of see it in the picture here. That asphalt extension is this kind of darker, that darker piece to the left of my cursor here. And then for all of their winterization work, READY is targeting dates around that kind of November 23rd time frame that we've been talking about, right around there. Some items completed before then, and some items they've targeted dates like the 26th for. So right around that same time frame. Any questions specifically related to Memorial Highway? No. Okay. Moving on then. Collins Avenue Reservoir. The recent work included coating the exterior walls, a few valve adjustments, and control panel work. We're kind of nearing completion of the new reservoir. There was some curiosity around what the putting it into service entailed, and it's actually pretty similar to a water line in that they are going to do disinfection, and then they'll do pressure tests, which includes filling the tank to basically its overflow height, and then holding water there for an extended period of time, and doing structural inspections to make sure that everything holds as we're expecting it to. Once we've done those leakage tests, we'll remove the water with the free chlorine and refill it with city water, and then it can be put into service. So we're expecting that to happen by the end of the month, and we're very close there. And then after it's put into service, we will have a few more items to complete in the spring, namely the demolition of the existing reservoir, as well as some retaining wall work and just exterior coating and finishing and stuff like that. So, any questions on Collins Avenue?
Mayor Jerry, are they painting the outside of it a certain color?
They will be. I think the color, the main color, is called pearl or something like that. I think that if it's not the current color, it's something close to the current color. We've also been active with the beautification committee regarding a call for artists because I think it's an opportunity to put some amenity on the side of the reservoir. I know that Fargo had just recently won an award last week or 2 weeks ago regarding some art that they put on their water towers, and just an opportunity here because I think it'll be very prominent and visible from the interstate, visible from Old Red Trail and stuff like that. So that's the plan right now. That's kind of the direction we're pursuing.
It'd be a good painting surface as long as it doesn't get too gaudy.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
Jarek, the graphic in the upper right, that is how that corner is going to be, that visibility issue is going to be resolved?
Mayor Commissioner Schoberg, yes, this is the graphic on the top right is the site triangle that we used to determine how far back that retaining wall needed to be taken back in order to give a good sight line at the existing stop bar. So folks after this project should be able to stop where that stop bar indicates they should stop and be able to safely move into the intersection.
And that'll be in the spring.
That'll be in the spring.
Thank you.
Yes. Moving on, 2025 street reconstruction. The base lift of asphalt has been completed over all of the open trenches in the area. The PRV installation, the PRV I think was delivered today or was going to be delivered today or tomorrow, and the installation will take place on Friday. And then once again, the affected street lights have to follow that work, so the street light repairs will occur after that. Sidewalk and curb and gutter repair are going to be ongoing, and then any more remove and replacement that's left to be completed will be completed next year.
Jared, you're talking about the Monty Drive?
Correct, the Monty Drive project. Sorry, I should have been more specific with that. Winterization efforts are being coordinated with Public Works. I know that the contractor and the street department are doing walkthroughs to identify snow removal concerns in the area, and then chip seal and unfinished items will be wrapped up in the spring. That will include that top lift of asphalt, and we are putting together a communications related to the winter shutdown decisions and the spring startup plans, and we're planning on sharing those with the residents. So we'll get information out to those that are most affected by this project soon.
Mayor Jared, with MU and their gas replacement lines, is that independent of your operations? Are they kind of on their own in terms of what they're doing?
Mayor Commissioner Rohr, it's independent in that it has nothing to do with special assessments and has nothing to do with our project outside of we're actively coordinating with them constantly. So they attend all of our weekly construction meetings, and they are trying to make sure that there aren't any they aren't digging any holes in any brand new streets, or, we're not tearing up the same sidewalk panels twice and stuff like that. So
Are they going to be working over the winter as well?
I'd have to double check with them, but I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay, thank you.
And then the new one to this kind of format, our 2026 street rehabilitation project. We've been calling this our 3A project area in our capital improvement plan. This is in the northwest part of town around Red Trail Elementary. We had a bunch of street issues this spring in this project area. Recent activity, we held a public input meeting on October 28th at Red Trail Elementary. It was actually well attended, better attended than we were anticipating based on how much comment we had received prior to the meeting. We discussed our kind of anticipated scope. That's not quite nailed down yet. We had some group discussion around problem areas. We had questions around other projects, so we got to talk about our Mandan CIP and long-range financial planning efforts. And then we talked around the next steps related specifically to this project. I would like to also mention that if there's still feedback that people have for this project area, missing the public input meeting you didn't miss your opportunity to give us feedback, and we still appreciate any information that people might have regarding this project. Regarding next steps, we're going to try and get to 30% design, and that would include defining scopes of work, chip seal, mill and overlay, complete reconstruction, drainage issues, stuff like that. We're going to develop accurate cost estimates, and then we are going to develop preliminary assessment information. Using that information, we're planning on going through district creation at the next commission meeting. At the next commission meeting, we would have a resolution of necessity that we would publish, and we would send letters out to the district participants that would include estimated assessment information. And then our plan after that, we would have a second public input meeting at Red Trail Elementary on Thursday, December 4th from 6 to 8 p.m. And we would go from there. I did also include a QR code up here that people can scan on their TVs to go to the project website. Also included Grant's email. He's out with a newborn right now, but he's been very responsive to emails, so I'm sure he would get back to folks. And then I wanted to just bring up our project website because there's a lot of opportunity to get more information about the project, about the purpose of the project, pavement management strategies, and then Grant also did pre-record the public input meeting presentation that we did at Red Trail Elementary, which has extra project information in there. So if people are interested...
All right, welcome to the public...
I was just going to show off, this would include lots of information, including timelines, which includes that 30% design I just talked about, as well as what we would anticipate to be construction timelines in the near future, which would be construction, bidding and construction in the spring and summer next year. But that's what I have on that project. Any questions?
Jarek, I would like to thank you for putting that together, because so that people know this first meeting last week was after the engineering firm had been selected, but before the engineering firm actually started designing. And when the meeting started, you could tell that the folks in attendance were not sure what they were going to experience. But very shortly after you and the engineer from Moore went through the PowerPoint, all of a sudden they were really excited and mentioned a lot of different existing issues in their neighborhood, all of which I noted. Thank you, Shane, and your public street department guys. Some of those have already been remedied, and two others are in the works to be remedied most likely by the end of this week. And that's it showed the people that were there that they now have a voice in determining the needs for these street improvement districts. And they really appreciated that. So thanks for putting that stuff together for them.
Oh, thank you.
Any other questions for Jarek?
Mayor and Jarek, this might be a Shane question as well, but for Memorial Highway, we are not assuming the snow removal until the project is completed. Is that correct?
That is correct. I think we were very specific in our agreements that we would take ownership over the completion of both phases of the project. So not only the completion of the east half, but the completion of the west half as well. So
But when the project is finished, that's when we would start completely doing the snow removal, when all phases are completed.
correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Jarek. Item number 4, under announcements, restricting parking of certain vehicles and trailers. Chief Ziegler.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, I'm going to go over the city ordinance reference restricted parking. September 15th to May 15th, campers and trailers cannot be on the street. That's to help out when there's snow events and different things like that. The snow plows can get through without worrying about campers and trailers on the street. After May 15th, they can start to move their trailers and their boats for 12 hours, where they can clean them up and get them ready to go out and enjoy the up and coming summer. Currently, if the trailers or the campers are on streets, to include your boat trailers and stuff like that, it is a $50 fine. We do not have to give you a warning. We can just fine you. If we tag your car and it's a 48-hour tag, after the 48 hours up, we can tow the vehicle for violation. The other things that we're looking for is vehicles that might have like flat tires or grass growing up around them and stuff like that. Code enforcement will go, if that car is out there, that vehicle will be fined or towed. So that's something that we've been really trying to diligently do. I have 3 code enforcement officers that are out every single day looking for these vehicles. If you see something, let us know. We do respond to those types of events. Downtown parking's going well. Now that we've got our parking attendants back and they're out there making their rounds, I was actually told today that the citations are down because people are understanding that they got to move their cars within the 90-minute limits. The other things that to just be considerate of is when you're parking downtown, don't back up in the diagonal parking, because if you do that, you'll get cited. I know there's been some businesses that have, they're trying to unload and offload. That's why we have loading zones or the alleyways. They can do it there. So I know there's been some complaints about businesses getting tickets for doing that. But please don't do it. Or if you have to, give us a call. If it's something that you just have to do and say, hey, listen, can we do that? That way, when we're making our rounds, we understand that you're there. And that's pretty much with everything that we do. Also, if you're doing work, like some of these restoration companies have trailers or something where they're backed up next to a house or they're doing yard work or lawn work, let us know or make sure you have your placard on there. But if you're there for 2 or 3 days and no work's being done, we're probably going to start citing your vehicle, your trailer. So that's kind of it in a nutshell with the parking. Any questions?
Any questions for Chief?
Chief, just a clarification. I had the occasion to fill out a report of concern on some vehicles on 21st Street. 3 of them had no license plates on. Code enforcement got back to me within 24 hours, and they were out there and marked the vehicles shortly thereafter. So the person that I did the report of concern for was extremely pleased with your code enforcement operations. One question I personally had was reference what we're going to approve here under resolutions with visible license plates and current registration tabs. If a vehicle is not bearing any current license plates, okay, they still get the 24 or 48-hour warning based on the commercial or residential areas, and then they'll be towed after that time period?
Mr. Mayor and Commissioner Schulberg, we don't have to do that. If it's not licensed to be on the street, we can tow it right away.
Okay.
What we typically would do is we would run the VIN number, see if we could find a registered owner. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. We can tag it for 48 hours, but most of those cars that we get complaints on have probably been sitting there way longer than 48 hours, and you can go and see the flat tires and the growth and stuff around the area. So those vehicles would more than likely just get towed. So yeah, what's going to be passed this afternoon or this evening is basically saying, because the way it was written is that the registration was what had to be presented, where we can now look at the tabs, and if the tabs are not correct or they're expired, we can actually cite that vehicle now. We were running into some issues with the courts on that.
I just like to reaffirm the fact that this report of concern component of our city website does work. And it wasn't because I was a commissioner, because I did not put that on that report of concern, period.
Mr. Mayor and Commissioner Schulberg, I also like to point out that the report of concern is not constantly monitored. So if it's an emergency, call 911. Don't use report of concerns to report emergencies. We are pretty good at getting them because our supervisors do get them out on patrol and stuff. But our code enforcement that responds, they work on Monday through Friday.
Okay. Yeah. Good job. Thank you.
I just want to say that requiring the citizens to get their trailers and disabled cars off the street is the city's not being petty. And maybe Shane or Mitch can address this. When we don't do that and we get a substantial snow event, it certainly slows down the plows. How many vehicles did we hit 2 years ago with 100 inches of snow?
Mayor, Commissioners, those couple years ago when we did have a significant snowfall, I think there was a handful of vehicles that were hit, so it does happen, and it is very cumbersome. Like speaking, and Shane's nodding his head yes in the background, but the snowplows navigating those streets is extremely difficult. It slows us down, and then from the fire department standpoint, as the road gets narrower and narrower, the emergency response for police, fire, and ambulance also is delayed through that obstruction of the roadway. So it is very important. It seems kind of pity, and a lot of people resist it, but there's a rhyme and a reason to the process.
Yeah, I agree. So please remove your vehicles, trailers, boats, because each day we're closer to the first snowfall.
And I'd like to add something else to that, Mr. Mayor. When there's a snow event that's coming in, like we see one coming in, the police department will be out tagging cars and towing cars to try to get them off of our snow routes.
Okay, that's good.
I was going to make Mayor, in addition to that, when you have a lot of junk vehicles and abandoned vehicles sitting around, it just disintegrates the community, the neighborhood. And we also, I believe, we have ordinances that pertain to people on their own private lots. If they keep vehicles that are junk vehicles, not tagged, they are in violation also, and they can be addressed as well. Not just on the streets, but on private property when you have junk vehicles sitting around on private property as well.
Good. And now for some happy news.
Some happy
Chief?
news. The trunk or treat. Now, I'm not sure how to get this pictures up there on the screen. There they are. Okay. So this past Friday, October 31st, was our 7th annual trunk or treat. And it was over at the Law Enforcement Center. That's our police cadets right there on the screen. Officer Hampton and Detective Khalifa were there chaperoning them. And I'll move to the next picture. So there's the Public Works snow plow. That looks like the rural fire department and some little trunk or treaters going around over there.
It looks like Riley.
There's inside the law enforcement center garage area. So we did, because it was kind of a little misty, a little chilly. So we had the inside and the outside going on. We had several local businesses assist with us. ID Ford was there. Destination Elevation was there. There was a few more, but I didn't get their names, and there was some outside and stuff like that. So we really appreciate our local businesses helping us with this, because it really does enhance what we can do and provide. Let's see, the Eagles was inside also with us. Here's another picture of the inside. Outside. Well, I'd love to get to the point where we're filling up all of our parking spots backed up and trunk-or-treaters going all over the place. That would be really cool. That was down there's our side-by-side, which we'll be getting the snow tracks on that probably here in the next month or so. Some happy trunk-or-treaters. There's the fire department. And the final picture is again inside. So those are the pictures of the trunk or treat. It was a very successful event, and part of that was because the Eagles, their donation of $1,500 for candy. What we found out was $1,500 doesn't go far. We ran out of candy right around 6 o'clock, so I went into the squad room and somebody brought in a bunch of candy. I don't know who it was, but thank them. And to give to the police officers. And so the officer said, "Here, take this here." So we took this big box of candy out there, and that got us up into the 6:30 hours. So Dean from the Eagles said, "I guess we'll have to up it to 2,000 next year." And I said, "Well, we'd take it." So it was extremely successful. I want to thank Public Works for coming out and help set up with the archer barriers and help design that whole area to make it safe. Captain Miller, he's kind of taken this program under his wing, and he's like a kid in a candy store, no pun intended, out there just having a ball. There was a guy in the Grinch uniform out there that night that was terrifying kids. As soon as we figure out who it is, we'll put a warrant out for his arrest. So I don't know who it is, but I have suspicions. So we also really, really, truly want to thank, one, the city for supporting the police department the way it does. Our departments, our city departments, our commission have been awesome, and we appreciate that. I want to thank the other departments for coming and assisting with it, because it really does take a lot of pressure off the police department's shoulders to have all that assistance from outside. And probably I'm missing some people, but I got to thank the little trunk-or-treaters and their parents for coming out, because truly them coming out makes it successful. And I also think that our event was probably pretty successful and probably other trunk-or-treats, because I think at my house we got one trick-or-treater. So that means the little ghosts and goblins are out hitting these safe locations. Not that my neighborhood's not safe, but the Grinch does live in my neighborhood, so I'm concerned about that. So I appreciate everybody for coming out, making this successful, and then next year we're going to try to, like I said, I'd like to fill up a lot more of those parking spots on the outside, and maybe the weather will be a little bit nicer and we can do more outdoor stuff.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you to everyone involved, and especially the Eagles for their donation. Mr. Neubauer, are there any public comments?
I know not of who you speak. No public comments.
Okay, and with that, we will move on to approval of the agenda. Commissioners, you've reviewed the agenda. Could I get a motion to approve?
I'll move the November 4th, 2025 City Commission agenda for this evening.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Rohr, second by Commissioner Heinchan. Discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioners Heinchan,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Approval of the October 21st, 2025 Board of City Commission meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Heinchan, a second by Commissioner Brown. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioners Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Heinchan,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes, the minutes are approved. We do not have a public hearing nor bids tonight, so we'll move on to the consent agenda. Are there any items that you want removed? And if not, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Schoberg, second by Commissioner Rohr. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioners Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Heinchan,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. We have no old business, so we'll move on to new. Item number 1, consider revised resolution for the Lower Heart River Flood Risk Reduction Project, Jarek.
Mayor and Commissioners, the purpose of tonight's item is to consider and possibly approve resolutions related to the levee project that we have been working on for a few years. As this project has developed, the cost estimate has changed a little bit, and that has necessitated the need to revise some of the information associated with the district and reinitiate the district with some revised resolutions. We thought it was an opportunity, since the project hasn't been in front of the board for a long time, to give a general project update, and that's why the Lower Heart River Water Resource District Chair, Bill Robinson, is here, and he's prepared a presentation to give to you today, and then we can try and answer questions if you have any after that. Is that fair?
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. I'm Bill Robinson, Chairman of the Lower Heart River Water Resource District. I would like to thank the city for the participation in this critical project up to this point. You've been a strong partner in getting us to where we are today. Mandan Parks has also been part of that step in getting to this point. But I'll go through a brief update. We do have another commissioner that probably hasn't seen some of this stuff. The Heart River Watershed District originates in Billings County out west. About 3,300 square miles is in the watershed. In addition to the levee in Mandan, providing flood support are 2 dams, Dickinson Dam and Heartbutte Dam. However, when you do get to the city of Mandan, the river is susceptible to ice jams, which drove this project. The levee system itself, construction began in the 40s and was completed before the spring of 1950, put to test immediately. The levee does consist of 3 segments. Sunny Unit, which is west of the bridge on the west end of Mandan. North Unit runs from that same bridge to approximately the trolley. And the lower unit is everything downstream from there. The improvements we're proposing are in the north or Mandan unit and the lower unit. The levee is about 9 miles in length. There is a USGS gauging statement on I-94 business loop to measure hydrology on spring runoff. That information is gathered to actually help us put together a solution for this problem. Presently, the levee does terminate about 1,000 feet upstream in the Missouri River. This would be just south of the wastewater treatment plant. The levee has gone through several updates during its history. It is part of the National Levee Database, and it is a participant in the PL 8499, which doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, but with the Corps of Engineers, that means they are there. Our oversight. So they do frequent inspections to make sure the levee is up to protection standards, and including the river bed itself. In 2012, there was a FEMA study that was performed. With that study, it came back there's extensive freeboard deficiencies. The short version is roughly 3 feet of freeboard that we're lacking in an ice jam event. If the flood is in a free flow event, the freeboard is there, but however in an ice jam it is not. 2019, there was a feasibility study showing other deficient items not meeting updated levee criteria, which includes slope stability and seepage. And as we go through this project, there's 2 federal agencies we're working with. One is the Corps of Engineers, one is FEMA. So if FEMA needs additional changes to the levee that are updated, it requires the Corps to do a review to make sure it's up to the modern day standards. So I'll go over some of the updates that are part of this project. We're looking to replace 900 feet of flood wall in the levee. That is the concrete wall that is near the Mandan Municipal Golf Course on the east end. There's about 1 mile of levee raise on the lower unit and stability berm construction. The existing levee has approximately a 1 to 2 foot step down at that end, and basically it's bringing it up to the level of the entire levee. 2,000 feet of levee raise on the Mandan unit, plus a tow trench. That section is along the Mandan Municipal Golf Course. So I've been working with Parks to make that happen, and that process has been going quite well. We are proposing a levee realignment at 3rd Street Southeast. That would be the 1806 bridge to the storm drain that is near the trolley along 3rd Street. So we're going to build that levee up next to the river. Presently, the road, 3rd Street Road river roadbed is the actual levee. And in today's world, that's frowned upon often by the Corps, and you can see why. Because if that roadbed gets damaged, you bring in all sorts of things to get it rebuilt. There was a new lift station along 3rd Street Southeast. This is in conjunction with the Memorial Highway project. Both projects were requiring a lift station. So we did work with city and DOT to get that consolidated into one lift station for the city. However, in that consolidation, it becomes the Lower Hart project lift station versus Memorial Highway. And there is going to be some bank armoring upstream of 1806. That is approximately between the softball diamonds and the mobile home cart along that reach. The funding up to this point, FEMA did provide a hazard mitigation grant at the front end of this project for geotechnical work for feasibility stage. Basically, those proceeds were to take soil samples for soil stability. We also received a federal grant, flood mitigation grant, in the amount of $13.8 million. They did allocate it in phases. So phase 1 is the pre-planning for the construction. $2.7 million was approved for that. We have received, I don't know the exact amount standing here, but roughly 75% of that. The remainder will be allocated during the construction. State Water Commission has been participating up to this juncture also with cost share. When we get to the total project, we do anticipate 60% cost share, or about $10.6 million of the total project. And from DOT on the lift station for Memorial Highway, about $2.4 million. Locally, Lower Hart has been funding the pre-construction costs through our mill levies. The Water Resource District is limited to 4 mills maximum, and County Commission has been improving that as we've been working our way through this project. So we've been paying pre-construction up with the 4 mills and cost share. In 2022, the City of Mandan did approve a citywide assessment district with tiered contributions and fund to fund the construction of the project. And we're here today to reinitiate that assessment district process. Mainly, there's been some additional construction costs, bank armoring, tow trench, and some additional raise that got us to this point today. The assessment district, we're proposing the same as we did in 2022. Citywide special assessment, two-tiered approach using the inundation boundary. If you look at the map, the gold color is the inundation area that FEMA would have if this project does not take place. And so in the inundated area, there's 2,584 properties. The non-inundated area that would fit in this district is 6,148 properties. So roughly 30% of the properties are in the inundation area. The assessment district, the inundated area, we had it split 65% local cost share. Direct benefits obviously would be to avoid a 100-year floodplain category with FEMA. These would be the properties directly protected from the flooding during base flood event. The non-inundated area is 35% cost share. And the benefits that the non-inundated area, what they have, it's to help protect essential services. So a lot of the things that city and county have in that area. You got the wastewater treatment plant, fire, police, city hall, all reside in that area. There's a substation, and in addition to roads and library, all fit in that inundated area. So the total cost for the estimate for the project for the city portion, $7,138,000. Inundated area at 65% would be $4,639,000, or $4,639,000. Non-inundated area would be about $2.5 million. How that breaks out, total cost for properties. The assessment district, the inundated area properties, residential would come to total cost of about $1,644. Commercial properties, $2,055. Non-inundated area about $392, and commercial about $490. And estimated for 15-year payback, that's yet to be determined, both rate and payback period, but we use 15 years at 4.5%. The inundated area properties, residential would come to annual cost of about $153. Commercial, $191. The non-inundated areas, residential, about $36 a year, and commercial, $45. Timeline, here at the fall of 2025, Clomar is out for comments. Section 408 permission comments from the Corps. We're waiting on that. Applications have been submitted. In the summer, fall, more likely fall of 2026, we're looking at construction bidding, and possibly in the fall of 26, some of the construction to commence. And at this time, it does appear most of the construction will occur in 27, with a wrap up in 2028. There is some follow-up documentation with both the Corps and FEMA once the project is done, so that'll take a little bit of time. And with that, I will take some questions.
Bill, could you describe a tow trench and also what armoring is?
Armoring is riprap. So they lay down some material below the riprap, and then they just put rock to armor the bank. What you see on the Missouri, we've done sections on the
It's
Hart
riprap.
before. Yeah.
Okay.
And the tow trench is basically, I forget the dimensions. I believe it's about 5 feet wide, 5 to 6 feet deep. And what that is, it's a relief trench. So when the water does come up and it comes up toward the top of the levee, over the last several floods around the nation, they found that it puts a lot of pressure on the levee. So the water has to find a place to escape, and it's often underneath the levee. So that tow trench should be a capture vessel to take that pressure off and remove the water.
So it would be on the dry side of the levee?
It would be on the dry side of the levee.
And it would run the length of, what, hole number 4?
It would be hole number 4. Yeah, I would say about 75%, 80% of the length of that hole.
Okay. Any other questions for Bill? If none, commissioners,
Thank you.
thank you, Bill.
Mayor, Commissioners, yeah, and I just wanted to remind that the major purpose of tonight's item is to approve resolutions related to the reinitiation of the improvement district, just to bring it back all the way around to the goal for tonight. And that's our recommendation, would be to approve the resolutions as presented.
Commissioners?
I'll move to approve the resolutions necessary to reinitiate the improvement district as presented.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Heinchan, second by Commissioner Schoberg. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioners Schoberg,
Yes.
Heinchan,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Thank you, Bill. We will move on to item number 2, consider a development agreement for Rock Prairie Estates. Jarek?
Mayor and Commissioners, items 2 through 4 are all related to the same development up in the northwest part of town. Rock Prairie Estates is the new development that's being constructed just west of Corvette Street and north of Old Red Trail, shown here on the map. The first item tonight is related to the development agreement with Rock Prairie Estates. This would normally be a planning item, but we're kind of tying it to bringing the street improvement district forward just because it felt appropriate to present them at the same time. This development agreement just outlines our understanding and outlines some of our expectations related to the development in this area. And we worked with the interim city planner, Rachel Lacqua, to construct some of this language, and we're very comfortable with where it's at today. And if you have any specific questions on it, I can try and answer them. But it's our recommendation to approve the development agreement as presented.
Jarek, during that public input meeting last week for Street Improvement District 3A, someone brought up the location of 47th and Corvette area on the west side of that new area subdivision there on the north side of Old Red Trail.
Absolutely.
And under the development agreement it's number 11.
Yep.
I think this does a good job of easing some concerns because Street Improvement District 3A is going to be completed in close proximity to the beginning of the earthwork for the Rock Prairie Estates, and I think number 11 would take care of any concerns of us doing the improvements for 3A on 47th and Cheyenne, and then having heavy earth-moving equipment utilize that same street. And number 11 forbids that.
Mayor, Commissioner Schoberg, yes, number 11 specifically prohibits the use of 47th Avenue Northwest and Corvette Street Northwest for means of access to the development for water, sewer, and street construction. And the developer has already constructed temporary access off of Old Red Trail that would accommodate construction equipment, heavy construction equipment, so as not to damage the current roads and the potential new roads that might go in the area.
And if people would like, they could run west on Old Red Trail and go down. They'll see the topsoil's already been stripped and the area is flagged for the streets. And just between the topsoil pile, I guess, for lack of a better word, and Old Red Trail, you can see that approach. It's already been established and already has been used this summer for stripping the topsoil with the heavy equipment.
Correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Jarek? If not, what are your wishes?
I move to enter into a development agreement with Rock Prairie Estates.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Brown, a second by Commissioner Schoberg. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioners Heinchan.
Yes.
Braun.
Yes.
Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Motion passes. Item number 3, consider the petition of Street Improvement District for Rock Prairie Estates. Jarek.
Mayor and Commissioners, related to the same development, the property owner up in the area has provided petitions to initiate a street improvement district for the Rock Prairie development. Included in the packet are resolutions creating the district, sufficiency of petition, engineer's report, feasibility report, district map, and petitions for these improvements. We have an estimated cost of $1.1 million for the improvements, which seems reasonable for the proposed improvements. And we are recommending approval of the resolutions to for the developer to get going on the street portion of their development. If you have any questions, I can try and answer them. Otherwise, we're recommending approval.
Mayor Jerry, about how many properties are involved in this for the assessment district?
Mayor Commissioner Rohr, I believe that is outlined in the development agreement. Let me see here. Oh, shoot. I apologize. Riley, do you know off the top of your head? I don't know off the top of my head.
Approximately, maybe?
I don't know. Maybe 30? 33.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Jarek?
I
Hearing
move to
none.
approve the resolutions necessary for the Street Improvement District 237.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Brown, second by Commissioner Heinchan. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioners Braun.
Yes.
Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Heinchan.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. We'll move on to item number 4, consider bid advertisement for Street Improvement District 237, Rock Prairie Estates.
Mayor and Commissioners, related to the district that was just approved, this would approve the plans and specifications which the City Engineering Department and Public Works Department have received and reviewed and are in favor of, and a resolution authorizing the advertisement for bids for that project. If you have any questions, I can try and answer them. Otherwise, we're recommending approval as well.
I'll move to approve the resolutions approving the plans and specifications and directing the advertisements for bids for Street Improvement District 237.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Heinchan, a second by Commissioner Brown. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioners Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Heinchan.
Yes.
Braun.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. We will now move on to resolution and ordinances. Item number 1, consider a second and final consideration of ordinance number 1478 to amend and reenact section 117-3-72 of the Mandan Code of Ordinances relating to coverage ratio for water and sewer revenue bonds. Justin?
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. This is the second and final consideration of ordinance number 1478. The Finance Department has not received any feedback related to the ordinance. There is a proposed motion in your packet, and I would recommend approval.
Commissioners?
I'll move to approve the second and final consideration of ordinance number 1478 to amend and reenact section 117-3-7, subsection 2 of the Mandan Code of Ordinances relating to coverage ratio for water and sewer revenue bonds.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Schoberg, second by Commissioner Rohr. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioners Schoberg,
Yes.
Heinchan,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. We'll move on to item number 2, consider resolution establishing rates and charges for services from Water and Sewer Utility Fund. Justin.
AE2S Nexus recently completed the water, wastewater, and stormwater utility rate studies for the city. One of the main objectives of these studies was to evaluate revenue adequacy and future rate planning for each utility. Revenue adequacy is a forward-looking estimation of what revenue will be required to operate, maintain, reinvest, and expand each utility over a defined period compared to the projected revenues that will be generated through growth in users and user flows. This analysis allows for the understanding of the fiscal sustainability of each utility and to determine the short-term and long-term adequacy of the existing rates and to propose potential rate adjustments to target revenues in line with the overall revenue requirements and reserve funding goals. A 10-year, 2026 to 2035 financial model was developed for each utility. Rate increases and revenue projections are anticipated to fully fund long-term increases to recurring operating and maintenance expenses, maintain adequate reserve funds at appropriate target levels now and into the future, fully fund future debt service and maintain adequate debt service coverage, and provide for identified capital improvement projects. The attached resolution establishing rates and charges for services from Water and Sewer Utility Fund shall be effective as the first billing after January 1st, 2026. The monthly increase per meter for utility billing accounts are as follows. For residential, the wastewater base charge increases $3.68. Wastewater usage charge 41 cents per 100 cubic feet or 1 unit. Stormwater base charge of 18 cents. Duplex, commercial and industrial, wastewater base charge $7.36. Wastewater usage charge 41 cents per 100 cubic feet or 1 unit. Stormwater base charge of 18 cents. For apartments, wastewater base charge of $11.04. Wastewater usage charge of 41 cents per 100 cubic feet or 1 unit. And a stormwater base charge of 18 cents. There is a proposed motion in your packet. I would recommend approval.
I have a question, Mayor. Explain, I know a residential would be a housing unit, correct?
Correct.
Now you have duplex / commercial and industrial, then you have apartment / commercial. What's duplex commercial? What type of building or thing would that be? And also apartment commercial?
Yeah, it's really just how they're worded in the previous ordinances, but there's residential and duplexes and then apartments. Apartments being apartment buildings greater than 2 units, such as a duplex, and then residential is just a single unit.
Okay. Right now, there's 2 commercials, and you have a commercial addressed to duplex and commercial apartment. Why we have 2 categories of commercial?
Yeah, it's just the way that it had been written years ago as far as the categories.
They want to confuse future generations.
Correct.
Thank you.
But yeah, to simplify it, it's residential, duplexes, and apartments.
Okay.
Any other questions for Justin? If not, what are your wishes?
I'll move to approve the resolution establishing rates and charges for services from the Water and Sewer Utility Fund.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Schoberg, second by Commissioner Rohr. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioners Heinchan,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Move on to item number 3, consider the second and final consideration of ordinance number 1479, relating to restricted parking of certain vehicles and trailers. Amy.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I have not had any further comments on this item. I do not believe the Police Department has either. No, they have not.
Any questions for Amy? Done?
Move to approve ordinance number 1479 as presented.
Second.
Thank you, Amy. We have a motion by Commissioner Brown, a second by Commissioner Heinchan. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioners Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Heinchan,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. There is no other business tonight. The future meeting dates for the Board of City Commissioners, November 18th, 2025 at 5:30, December 2nd, 2025 at 5:30, and December 16th, 2025 at 5:30. Just a note, please shop Mandan, please shop the Strip if possible. Buy Mandan. I think it's very important that we support the businesses out on the Strip at this time. As always, be kind to your neighbor, and it's onward and upward, Mandan. Meeting is adjourned.